be with you. Always.
Always. Alright, so it looks like we are going to have a pretty sweet interview coming out from Clutter, guys. From both of these teams. We're going to have some pre-game interview hype coming out from, I believe, Tony and Nessper, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Yep. Alright, so I'm going to jump into raid call. I don't even know how raid call works, man. What am I doing right now? Alright, global cooldown TV. Here we go. Jumping in here. Alright. I believe we are ready.
Okay. Let me bring Tony in here.
Alright, turn your mic up too a little bit. It's teeny a little bit.
It's
there you
up
go.
all the way.
Perfect.
Oh.
Alright, guys. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic, and here is an interview provided by the one and only Clutter. And I believe we're interviewing Tony first.
Hey, Tony, you there?
Here.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Quite well, how are y'all?
Good. I'm really glad to see you in the tournament again. It's always fun watching you guys' team.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
I was wondering if, well, obviously you guys have faced this team before. Are you guys feeling confident going against them again?
Unless there's something I'm missing that they could adjust their strategy. I mean, I feel pretty confident just based on the past couple games and even previous tournaments we've done pretty well. So, yeah, I feel good.
Do you guys think? What do you guys think the score will be? You guys think you're gonna go 4-0 with them?
I'm hoping for it, and I would, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on that. But you don't know. Like, I'm sure that some things they can do. And we could always just get gived, like with Hunter being so squishy, especially without a trinket. Same thing with the rest of Druid and them having time spree. We could definitely lose, but I feel pretty confident.
Okay. Do you have any shout-outs you wanna say?
Yeah. First off to my friend Truck, who gave me the name, of course, and been playing with me in the previous expansion or tournaments rather. Sorry. And my main CS team we've been playing with it. And of course, my teammates, Supatease, obviously you guys know him, and Lossa. So that's about it, though.
That's awesome, and you stream too, right?
Yes, I do.
What is it, Mr.
Tony 31? Yeah,
31 too. Okay.
Tony 31. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish you good luck, and I'm excited to see some good games.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm hoping we get some good games in.
Okay. Good luck. See you later.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay. I'm gonna get Nessper in here. Hey, Nessper. Nessper? Hello?
Okay, I found it. Alright, we're good. Hi.
Hey, how you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm in a little bit of shock, but other than that, I'm good.
Why are you in shock?
Well, Supatease disappeared. He went to sleep.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure I'm at exact liberty to say what's happened to him, but
I hope he's doing okay.
I really hope so as well. We're praying for him here at home.
So you guys got knocked down to the lower bracket by Tony's team. So how are you guys feeling going against them again in the finals?
We're definitely scared, but I mean that was Dota's first games back in like a month or so, so he was a little bit rusty. So we'll consider that as warm-up games. So I think we can. I don't know. It's gonna be hard, but I think we have a chance. We definitely have a chance.
Okay. What do you guys think the score is gonna be? You think you can take some games away from them? You think they're gonna 4-0 you? Because Tony sounded pretty confident in his interview. He thought he was gonna 4-0 you guys.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get 4-0'd, but we're definitely. I mean, it's definitely a hard comp for us. It always has been. It always will be, and especially with people finally discovering that Siegebreaker hits for like half of people's health. Like, it's not gonna be easy, but I think we can win, and we have a good shot if we play well. If we don't make mistakes, we can win.
Okay. Well, I wish you guys good luck. And do you have any shout-outs? I know Dota wanted to come in and do this interview too, but he doesn't have raid call, so anything he wanted to share with us?
I think he just wanted to say hello to Jamili, Elite, all of his friends. Of course, shout out to everyone.
Okay.
Anyone we both play with. And from my end, definitely shout out to Supatease in Dream World or wherever he is. I hope he's having a great sleep, but he will always be missed.
Okay, I just want to thank you guys again for, you guys come back every tournament and you guys keep competing, and it's really awesome to see you guys supporting the PvP community and just giving us some great games to watch.
Yeah, of course. No, we've supported GCD TV from like as soon as we found out about it. I think it was week 2. A couple of my
Yeah.
viewers shared it with me, and then I've been on board with you guys ever since. So yeah, definitely a huge supporter, huge fan. You guys just keep doing what you're doing.
We really appreciate it, and wish you good luck, and I'm excited to see your games.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You too. Bye.
All right, everybody. That was the interview provided by Clutter. Thank you so much, Clutter, for that interview. And we're going to jump right into this series here, guys. So it is going to be a best of 7, but Tony from the Bronx team, considering they came from the winner's bracket, will have that 2-0 advantage. The first team to reach 4 wins will take the entire tournament. Here we go. We're going to jump right into it, guys.
Let's do it.
I'm so excited. Oh, my gosh. I just can't wait to see some Siegebreaker. I'm going to be honest with you, man.
You're rooting for the Siegebreaker?
It's just new and exciting to me. All right, here you go. The very first map, of course, is going to be on the Grand Arena. I'll see you guys in there in just one hot minute. All right, everybody, welcome to the finals. We have Tony from the Bronx going up against Magik Men, the RLD. Now, Magik Men and both of these teams have beaten ridiculously good teams to get to where they are right now in this best of 7 series. Tony from the Bronx does have that 2-0 advantage going into this best of 7 series, considering they did come from the winner's bracket. So, I mean, this RLD is going to have some work to do to get past that 2-0 advantage. Can they pull it out? 8 seconds until these gates open, man. I'm so excited. Here we go.
Yep. Lockout actually deciding to once again use that observer at the start, so we'll be looking to see Lossa and Tony kill it off and forcing Dota to use that Void Walker right away. And like Supatease said, it's a huge help for him because he's able to basically free cast clones. But Nessper and Dota immediately popping their offensive cooldowns onto Tony Jr. and Supatease is going to just leave the game.
So yeah, that was within the first 45 seconds of the match, so for whatever reason they won't be discredited for that match. It's still going to be a 0-2 setup, and we're going to jump right back into the Grand Arena. Sorry about that quick delay, guys. Going to go figure out what's going on.
Super didn't have add-ons.
Super did not have add-ons. Alright, so waiting on that delay, we did get a couple donations there. Let me go ahead and read those out. We got a $2 donation from GamerGeek. He asked for an unban. I don't know why you were banned, buddy, but I unbanned you. I'm trusting you. Thank you so much for the $2, man. We got a $10 donation from Red Buff Hero Nessper. $10 donation just to say Kappa. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Every donation that we receive goes directly towards future tournament prize pools and nothing but. And we did reach our goal. As we did get an amazingly generous donation of $369 from Travo. Thank you so much for all the donations that we received today and yesterday. It helps us out so much to keep this thing going. But we also did get a new subscriber, if I'm not mistaken. We got Jabakadul. Jabukadul? Jabakadul. Alright, I'm going to link it to you then. You're way better at this than me. What do you think? What do you think that is? How do I pronounce that?
Jabukdel?
Jabukdel?
Jabukdel. Jabukdel? I don't know, something like that. Jabukdel, that's what I would say.
Regardless, thank you so much for that subscription, man, and welcome to the team. Really do appreciate that sub. We are 17 out of our 25 sub goal, and this is the finals.
Could be Jabukdel.
Oh, it could be Jabukdel. That's a good point. It is a good point.
Could be.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Alright, looks like these teams are ready, and we're going to jump into this first game once again. This is the finals, the best of 7 finals to determine who takes the whole tournament. Here we go, guys. The very first map, of course, is going to be in the Grand Arena. And we're going to jump into it as soon as humanly possible here. Wargame requests just being sent one after another, trying to get into the games. And as soon as we get in, oh, the queue's still not going through. Not sure what's going on. What is going on right now, man?
I'm not sure.
It's weird. I've never seen this happen. Here we go. The eye is up. Yeah. Here we go. Alright guys, welcome to the finals. We have Magik Men going up against Tony from the Bronx, RLD versus KFC. Though this KFC has proven themselves to be not just any ordinary KFC, but a siege-breaking, crazy, terrifying KFC. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
It's become so scary. I mean, normally you have to worry about just the BM crows, but now all of a sudden they have this huge offensive cooldown from Lossa as well, that he can line up with his execution procs. And it can be a significant amount of damage that comes out on the lockout, or like we saw last game, Nessper, that they're able to swap onto him with no feint.
Are you okay? Clutter doing some sort of weird chant in the background. I think she might be giving energy to somebody in this matchup. Nessper running in with a Shroud, looking for Supatease. He might just find him. He ran right next to Supatease, but Supatease is going to get away for now. Lockout TKO getting opened up on by this KFC. He's dipping down to 60% health here. He's got that Demon Soul. He wants to get offensive. Tony now, that full kidney shot goes on to him, and Iron Bark being forced out of Supatease.
Yeah, Supatease immediately answering that Adrenaline Rush and that Demon Soul with the Iron Bark. I think that was a good trade as that kidney shot comes in. He was able to prevent a lot of damage there, but the BM now about to fade from Tony, who gets gouged up on his barrage from Nessper. So great job by Nessper trying to shut down some of that damage, but Lossa still has all his offensive cooldowns ready to go. The full blind out onto Supatease. He still has Trinket available, but Tony is going to be the target of choice, trying to get us some CC on the Pinkrangers so they can start pressuring Lockout a little bit more. Second Demon Soul coming out from Lockout right now, and they're trying to make a play onto Tony Jr. The sap coming out from Nessper onto Supatease. Tony in a lot of trouble right now, having to use that Deter as well as Rallying Cry coming out of Lossa, so able to force a lot of cooldowns, but Supatease able to save this Trinket.
Yeah, holy, that's a lot of cooldowns forced out of Tony. Tony could be in a little bit of trouble here. He still has a Trinket and another Deterrent available to him. Pinkrangers put into that DR Werven Sting at this point, but everyone on RLD is completely full health. Lockout TKO taking a bit of damage, and it looks like they're constantly trying to kill this Observer, but they haven't killed it just yet. And I believe this is the second Observer. Not that they've killed one yet, but Tony now taking a bit of the damage. He has those full hots and that haunt rolling on him. He's dipping down to about 50% health here. There's a Stormbolt goes out into Pinkranger. Full trap lands, and this team wants to get offensive. BM coming out, and they're doing a lot of damage, but I'm not sure who yet. Now the bash goes out onto Nessper. It doesn't look like they're going on him just yet. Oh, damage is going out onto Nessper as that was Crows. He's not going to vanish it. It's not up quite yet, so that Crows is going to stick, but Nessper doing a good job keeping that feint up.
Yeah, another one of Dota's pets actually died, so now he finally has that Voidwalker up, and it's going to be a lot easier for Supatease to actually manage this damage, being able to get those Cyclones out whenever he wants. The full fear coming out onto everyone, though, from Dota. Adrenaline Rush coming out on Nessper. They're trying to kill Tony. Got a lot of damage onto him. The sap onto Supatease. Supatease actually Barkskin there. I don't know if that was just a mistake or what, but Tony having to use that second deterrence, and now Supatease doesn't have a Barkskin, so I don't know what's going on, but Tony could just die down to 10% HP, catches a huge NS from Supatease there. Dota does have that Demon Soul up still, able to just get out so much damage, and it looks like they're just trying to focus down Tony Jr., not really bouncing around. This is sort of a different playstyle we've seen out of this RLD, where they don't necessarily go on the healer a lot, and they're just trying to kill down these DPS with a lot of control.
It's very different indeed, but it seems to be working out for him so far. Lockout TKO taking a lot of damage. The bash goes out into Nessper. He's dipping. This is Crows. He's just going to go down to the Siege Breaker damage. Are you kidding me? What in the world? That is a 3-0 coming out from Tony from the Bronx, as they did have that 2-0 advantage going into this best-of-7 series coming out from the winner's bracket, and they are just one win away from taking the whole series. Holy incredible. Let's take a quick look at that replay. Keep an eye out on Nessper, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. There's a Cyclone onto Nessper. The Stormbolt goes out onto Pinkrangers. Lockout TKO taking the brunt of the damage from this KSC, but that bash coming out from the Supatease. Supa in cat form as well. The Siege Breaker, though. What is that? That's incredible.
I'm watching the replay still. Still a little bit of a delay.
Okay, I'm going to watch it one more time. I want to know how high he was before he got Siege Breakered right there.
He's at like 60%.
Oh my god.
Then he got Siege Breaker executed. Oh my goodness gracious! That is just so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, that was crows and everything as well. My goodness.
That's what's really scary, is when you have those huge offensive cooldowns like that just do so much damage. You just, at any point in the game that can happen. If you live long enough, you have so many opportunities to just swifty one-shot someone like that.
Yeah, the next map chosen by this RLD is going to be Ruins of Lordaeron. Here we go, everybody. Oh man, this RLD's got to be feeling the pressure right now. I mean, Supatease's team, they had that 2-0 advantage because they did come from the winner's bracket. And so they only have one round to win to take the whole thing off of this RLD, man. Only one more round. Can the RLD bring it back 4-0? It's going to be a hard finals for these guys, but who knows what can happen. Here we go. We're on Ruins of Lordaeron for the next map here. Man.
Apparently I was wrong and he didn't even execute off Siegebreaker. He just died in one Siegebreaker.
I mean, yeah, he had crows and everything on him, man.
That's weird, though, because his highest hitting ability was only 70k, so it's weird that he went from 40 to 0 in one Siegebreaker when it didn't hit over 70k.
I mean, they had a lot on him. I mean, he was in cat form. Supatease was in cat form, getting those combo points, and also you saw, like...
BM Crows, too.
Yeah, BM Crows, yeah. I mean, it is a synergized, like, one-shot. As crazy as that is, I mean...
Yeah, I think Siegebreaker actually has a 45-second cooldown, so it lines up quite nicely with the BM Crows.
Wow. Here we go. 3 seconds until this game opens. Can the RLD bring it back against this seemingly undefeatable KFC?
Yeah, I actually don't think they've dropped a game as KFC in this tournament yet.
No, they haven't. At least
they 3-0'd RMD, yeah. So, showing how powerful this really is. Nessper sitting in stealth now, trying to get an opener. Dota once again has that observer out, so we're going to be looking to see Tony and Lossa killing it, but the cheap shots coming out from Nessper onto Lossa gets followed up by a Cyclone by Pinkrangers, and Tony once again is the target of choice. The blind onto Supatease, but Supatease was able to pre-Ironbark that, and Supatease actually decides to Trinket and dispel Tony Jr. to try to keep his team a little bit more offensive. Recklessness as well as Avatar coming out from Lossa right now. He's trying to connect onto Dota the best he can, but he's not taking too much damage. He might be trying to kill off that pet. Tony Jr. taking a lot of damage though, and Supatease actually has no Trinket available. Tony caught into that full kidney shot right now. Does have Heart of the Wild Hots from Supatease, but Supatease now caught into that full fear, and because of that, Tony is having to pull back. The red buff killing spree coming out from Nessper, and this could be Tony's first deterrence. Supatease not in any CC at the moment, caught into the DR fear actually, and that is going to be the first deterrence from Tony Jr.
Man, they popped Recklessness Avatar into that pet, and they didn't even get the kill on it. Tony's still in a lot of trouble, though. He's dipping lower and lower at 50% health here. Supatease is having trouble keeping him up, but he does have another deterrence available to him. Lockout TKO look like he's going to be the kill target once again, but there's still an observer on the map. So Supatease has to look out and try to juke that CS cast. Supatease, though, doing a good job keeping Tony offensive out of all that, but now's the bash onto Supatease. Lockout TKO is taking a bit of damage here at this point, but I mean, Tony is the one who's really in trouble. But the double howl coming out from Dota on Lossa and Supatease into the cheap shot onto Supatease. Tony's still going to be the kill target. Full trap landed from Tony onto Pinkrangers. They want to get offensive on the Lockout TKO, and the bash comes out. He's going to Trinket Health Stone and get away from there. Regen even coming out from Lockout TKO. Pinkrangers still not out of CC just yet. This could be it right here, right now, but the Nature Swiftness is going to top him off, and he's going to be okay for now.
He's going to get that Ironbark and the Nature Swiftness. And Pinkrangers just has his Trinket coming up in around 29 seconds. Tony Jr. actually catching that Ironbark from Supatease. He's trying to prevent some of that incoming damage. Lockout has a Demon Soul coming up in 7 seconds, so we're going to be looking for him to pop that and start going offensive onto Tony. Nessper using that Adrenaline Rush, able to get out a lot of damage in this full kidney shot onto Tony. He still has Trinket Deterrence available. He might have to use it as Supatease is caught into that full fear. At the moment, doesn't look like there's going to be any follow-ups you see, but Tony's still taking a lot of damage, and this RLD really isn't under any pressure at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, Tony Style now taking a bit of damage. He has like the full hots on him, but Lossa, Avatar's up. He wants to get offensive. Lockout TKO did actually get that cast off to get that next observer coming out. So Supatease does have to watch out for those observers in play. Tony Style, though, consistently just taking the pressure from this RLD. The full hots up on Tony as well. Avatar's about to fade. Lockout TKO does get locked out of that fear, and he's dipping kind of low. He's at 40% health here. Nature Swiftness comes out from Pinkrangers, but it didn't do all that much. Supatease, though, is going to trinket out of that full blind to keep his team offensive, and Lockout is still taking so much damage from this KFC. Ironbark is going to be forced out from Pinkrangers. Pinkrangers mana might become an issue here a little bit longer, but the full trap is going to land out of that Stormbolt. Well, Lockout TKO is doing a great job just line of sighting the damage from this KFC, and he's going to be okay for now as Pinkrangers comes out of the Cyclone right now. He's still hovering at about 60% health here, but he wants to get offensive on the Tony. Tony's now in that full kidney shot, and Nessper is just going to town on him. Roar Sacrifice being used on the Tony is going to prevent a lot of that damage here. Bash into Supatease, but Tony's still okay for now.
Yeah, Nessper has that smoke bomb, so we could see Tony get caught in a stun with no trinket with the red buff killing spree and a smoke bomb, and he could be in a lot of trouble because of that. Pinkrangers mana could become an issue. I mean, dampening still not kicking in for another minute, but he might actually go before that, having to use a lot of Genesis heals onto Lockout TKO. But this is the full kidney shot smoke bomb onto Tony Jr. The red buff killing spree coming out. Rallying Cry from Lossa. The Ironbark onto Tony as well as gets that final deter off, so that Rallying Cry very crucial there for his survival, but he's still not out of the woods yet. Supatease is just getting spam feared. The Rallying Cry does fade, but Supatease should be able to hopefully top him off. Lockout taking a lot of damage, also getting the Ironbark from Pinkrangers. Pinkrangers caught into that bash from Supatease, immediately trinketing that, trying to keep Lockout TKO offensive. Tony Jr. once again caught into another kidney shot, just getting hunked down by Lockout, who just popped that Demon Soul, so he's going to have a lot of damage coming out, but Nessper is caught into that full clone, deciding not to trinket. He wants to keep that trinket. He's really scared of these swaps, but they still have so much pressure on the Tony that he has to use his second deterrence.
Yeah, another deterrence coming out that hot. That triple howl coming out from Dota might spell the end for Tony. The kidney shot out of it. Tony's at 16% health here. He has nothing left. He wants to get offensive with the barrage because he has no more defensive buttons. But is it going to be enough? He's at 30% health here. Pinkrangers, though, into that Stormbolt. And Lockout TKO is dipping down to 40%. And now it's a race to who can kill the fastest. And Lockout TKO is up 50%. And Tony's getting a lot of heals from Supatease. Both of these teams starting to stabilize now. But when looking at the cooldowns, both of these teams have very little left in the tank. And Lockout TKO, he's at 70% health here. Tony's still okay, but he has no more deterrences, just a trinket.
That is a full kidney shot on the Supatease. They're looking to swap over onto him. The red buff killing spree coming out of Nessper. Supatease did trinket that blind, so he doesn't have it available. Caught into the DR kidney shot, into the Garrote, the full Garrote. Supatease in a lot of trouble. The Ironbark coming out, but it's not going to be enough. They had a huge swap over onto him when he did trinket that blind. But Lockout's not out of the woods, down to 7% HP. Could we see a cross kill? The execute coming out, but now we're in a situation where we have a Resto Druid combat rogue against a Warrior Hunter, and it's not looking good for this Warrior Hunter. Tony's down to 60% HP. He doesn't have a deterrence available. The BM Crow's coming out, though. They're trying to pressure Pinkrangers. He doesn't have anything left except his NS. I guess he has Bark Skin as well. And this RLD is actually sitting quite safe at the moment. Pinkrangers able to get the bear form off before that Stormbolt, and Tony's just going to hopelessly get rotted down by Nessper, who uses that sprint to connect to him into the full kidney shot, and that is going to be the end of Tony Jr. But they were able to cross kill there, and that just shows how close that game really was.
Unbelievable, man. Wow, what a game. Magik Men still in this series. This is a best of 7 series, guys, and Magik Men, they're not letting Tony from the Bronx take this finals without a fight. Let's take a quick look at that cross kill. I mean, at this point, you're looking at Supatease. This is the crazy setup that they have on Supatease. Supatease in that Bark Skin, but it's just not enough through that killing spree into the Garrote. Bear form, Ironbark, but he just goes down. Now keep an eye on Lockout TKO as the full Wyvern hits onto Pinkrangers. He's going to dip down to execute range, and that's the cross kill. But like Venrique said, I mean, the advantage of the 2v2 compositions definitely goes to the Rogue Druid.
Yeah. Pardon me. Well, just going into that 2v2, Tony had nothing left. He didn't have a trinket. He didn't have any deterrences. So it's just really hard for him to survive when he has nothing ready. And the chat actually going crazy about an 84,000 siege breaker. So I guess at the end of that game, Pinkrangers got hit quite hard, I should say. But it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 1 second, buddy. Alright, everybody. The next map chosen by this KFC is going to go, I believe, onto Tiger's Peak. Is that what he said? Is that what he said? I believe he said, yeah, he did say Tiger's Peak. I just had to scroll up a bit. Yeah, Peter Pan, is that how you really feel, buddy? Wow. Alright, guys, here we go. Let's jump into this next map. I'll see you guys in there in just one hot minute. Alright guys, welcome to Tiger's Peak. It's currently 3-1. Magik Men has a lot of work to do if they want to take this final series, this best of 7. As Tony from the Bronx did have that 2-0 advantage getting here from the winner's bracket. Can they do it? Can they just bring it all back 3-0? I don't know, we're about to find out here in just 20 seconds.
You'll have to see. Sorry, voice crack over and over. Pardon me. So we'll have to see how these games go. I guess they're choosing this map so Supatease has a little bit more breathing room. It's going to be harder for Nessper and Lossa to actually get CC onto him. Loss's going to be pushed back by Tony and Lossa, and it's going to be really hard for him to actually get those fears out onto Supatease. So we'll have to see how this game goes. And like we said last game, we did see a cross kill, so if they weren't able to really give Supatease there, the game was over. So a very, very close game indeed.
Yeah, cheap shot going out onto Lossa here. Adrenaline rush coming out from Nessper and Demon Soul from Lossa TKO. They want to get offensive, and Supatease sees it. He's going to trinket and Ironbark Tony right away. Wervenstein going out on the Pinkranger, though. It looks like they want to kill this pet once again. They don't want Dota to have that opportunity to be able to lock Supatease out, but the full trap's going to land onto Pinkrangers. Actually, excuse me, it was DR from the Wervenstein, the kidney shot onto Supa, but that's DR as well. Tony should be completely okay here, but he wants to get offensive. Crow's going out onto Dota now. Dota dipping down to 50% health here, and Lossa's going to reconnect, but he's just going to get Blood Horde right off into a full fear. He's going to rage out of it and connects back onto Lossa TKO, but he's getting all of these Demon Soul dots onto everyone. The Howl goes out on the Supatease, the kidney shot onto Tony, but Lossa's got that blade, or that Reckless's avatar, and Lossa TKO, he's got to watch out.
Yeah, that was the siege breaker onto him. It didn't actually crit there, so he's gonna be okay. Supatease using the Barskin as they did swap over on him, using that NS to top off Tony, who is taking the brunt of the damage right now. But Lock got in a lot of trouble. He's trying to get away, down to 60% HP. Pinkranger's caught into that full cycle, and he does have Trinket available. He's choosing not to use it. That is the Dark Regen coming out of Dota, and this could be a huge problem. Pinkranger's caught into a DR clone. He might have to end up trinketing that, as Lockout is hovering around execute range. If they can get any fall-off CC on a Pinkrangers, that could be the game. The offensive clone from Supatease onto Lockout, who has to trinket that so he can finally catch some heals from Pinkranger. Supatease using that Ironbark on himself, as well as popping the soul, or the Heart of the Wild, pardon me, to get his healing up a little bit, trying to top off Tony, but they're going offensive on the Lockout, who has that Ironbark from Pinkrangers. That is the BM Crows, so beautifully done by Pinkrangers, countering that cooldown with his Ironbark. But he just has to run. He has to run. He's trying to get heals from Pinkrangers, but they're just not able to stabilize. Lossa finally able to reconnect to him, as well as Tony. Supatease getting trained down by Nessper, though. He does bear form that kidney, so Nesper's just going to get off him and go back and try to help Lossa TKO.
Yeah, Lossa TKO, though, sitting pretty right now so far. I mean, he is at, well, Demon Soul now coming out from him. He wants to get offensive. He wants this team to start rotting. Tony, though, just taking so much pressure from this team. Supatease now put into that full fear. The trap lands onto Pinkrangers, though. Lossa TKO, he's getting dipped down from that Siege Breaker to 45% health here. But Tony, on the other hand, is forced to deterrence from Nesper's killing spree. Tony now in that smoke bomb. This could be it right here, right now. He's dipping so low. He's at 30% health here. He has one deterrence available to him. He has that Ironbark up from Supatease, but is that going to be enough? He's still so low at 45% health here, but Supatease not in any CC. He should be able to top Tony off, no problem here. Lossa now taking a bit of damage as he is pushed in on Lossa TKO. Stormbolt goes out onto Pinkrangers. Nothing to follow it up just yet. Lossa TKO going to eat that trap.
Supatease just spamming out those fairy fires on Nessper. Supatease actually gets blinded there from Nessper and immediately trinkets that into the DR Howl of Terror. So he's not going to be in CC for a little while. The BM Crow's coming out on the Lossa. Tony taking a little damage, but Supatease able to easily heal through it, dispelling all those dots from Dota. And Dota finally able to get his HP topped off, and this game is a little bit different because Dota doesn't have its observer out, so it's a little bit easier for Supatease to actually get out those cyclones, which is a key element of this matchup, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. The Stormbolt trap goes out onto Pinkrangers as this KFC wants to get offensive. Tony, though, into that kidney shot. Nessper doing a whole bunch of damage, but there's the bash in the Nessper. This could be scary. We saw what happened last time he went for a bash to the Nessper, but Dota's not going to let that happen. He runs in and gets that double howl. Tony now taking a bit of damage from this RLD. Nessper does currently have his yellow buff at this point, so he's going to be looking to set something up here very, very soon. Lockout TKO, though, just constantly taking damage from from Lossa. Lossa doing a really great job just locking down some key parts of this Warlock's control, but the Blood Horror is going to go out from Lossa, and Lossa's just going to pop that Avatar Recklessness, and Dota's got to be careful. This is really, really scary for him, but this is red buff killing spree onto Tony, though, and Tony doesn't have a trinket for 15 more seconds. He could just go down right here, right now. Supatease does have that Nature Swiftness up, but he's in that Cyclone, into that Fear. He can't use it just yet, into the full bash. Nature Swiftness is still up for Supatease, but he still can't use it. Ironbark's going to fall down, but he's going to use the Supatease he's going to use that Nature Swiftness on Tony right before the next CC. Tony's going to be okay for now, but he's still taking a whole bunch of damage with that Haunt up on him. He's at 50% health here at this point. The Howl coming out from Dota, and it's just going to get raged out by Lossa and break onto Tony. Supatease, though, goes into that DR kidney shot. Pinkrangers in that full trap, but Dota, they're not letting him he's not letting this KFC have any time of day in his health bar when his healer's in CC.
Yeah, he's just using that soul burn port, pardon me, which gives him the freedom. Nessper taking a lot of damage, though, getting hunked down there by Supatease, who did put him into that bash, I believe. He does pop that evasion. Going to play it safe. He gets the sap onto Supatease, which Supatease actually immediately trinkets. That means Nessper is going to have that blind available for him whenever he sees fit. Tony Jr. taking a little bit of damage. Lockout using that Bloodhorde to get Lossa off of him. Just going to Soulburn port away once again, trying to LOS as much as possible while Pinkrangers is caught into that Cyclone. Nessper, like we talked about, actually not using his trinket all game. He knows he's the target of choice. Getting BM'd Crows, though, taking a lot of damage, getting offensively cloned by Supatease, down to 20% HP. Could get executed, down to 11%, 5%, 3%. That's going to be the series, and Tony from the Bronx going to take it 4-1. Nessper being super safe all game, but ended up not dying in any sort of CC, just from pure damage.
Unbelievable. Tony from the Bronx's team just did amazing this tournament. Shout out goes to my buddies Magik Men, though. Tony, Supatease, and Lossa is going to take the whole tournament, and they actually only dropped one game. And the only game they dropped this entire tournament was right here in the finals versus this RLD. That's the only game. Kill. Oh yeah, in the cross, yeah, that cross kill, and it was still such an incredibly close game. So yeah, there it is, everybody. Congratulations to Tony from the Bronx, Tony, Supatease, and Lossa. Thank you guys so much for competing. I just want to go ahead and shout out everyone who competed in this tournament. You guys rock. You guys are